Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Mushoku Tensei season 2 episode number 12, and this is the final episode of this season. Right, to the previous episode, we had a really good episode, an episode that everyone was waiting for. Finally, Rudy knows who Fitz is, and not only that, Fitz even confessed. Okay, and I'm going to call her Sylvie from here onwards. Sylvie confessed, and yes, like for that to happen, like Sylvie and Ariel, all of them came up with like a plan of kind of doing, like, recreating what happened in the past, something that stood out to both Rudy and Sylvie, and that's what they did. Like they went out, like kind of like made a plan to for the rain to fall. After that, they went and take shelter in a cave, all that stuff. And then, like it little by little, when Rudy took off her glasses, he was able to remember. So yeah, it worked out, and finally, like yeah, it's looking good. It's progressing, the whole situation. So yeah, let's see what happens in this episode. This is the final episode of this part of the season. I know another part has already been confirmed, I think in 2024, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But let's watch this episode first. So let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, she had her glasses. True, that is also true. Mm, yes. There you go. Okay. Yep. Oh, all right. Now, Rudy. He did say that his whole situation kind of, after coming in contact with Sylvie, his, like his problem was. Oh no! Wait, 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 wait! Oh no! Oh no! What? Wait, what? Oh my God! Wait, didn't he say that it? Then how? Okay. My tent has collapsed. Oh no. Okay. Like, is he still like concerned about something? Is that why? Like, obviously, because all of these comes from the head. Like your mental. What do you call it? Like your mental disposition at that point of time. That's what affects it. So, is he like still concerned about something, or is he still like afraid of something? Like, okay, because he did say like when he'll get a proof that the other person really loves her, maybe that is going to work. And like Sylphie already gave that proof to him. So okay, wait, what's happening? Oh, because he's no, 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 no. That wouldn't. Okay, no, he's still hesitating. Oh my God, his doges again. No, no, she's not talking about that. Okay, wait. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, because Oh, wait, really? Okay, we didn't know about that. Damn, same as Aries. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. While Rudy was like on the other side of the. Hmm. Well, obviously, what do you expect? Like, yeah. Well, yeah, 1 year has passed. Oh my God, what? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. All right, time to go back, I guess. Hmm. Well, it's gonna take time a little bit more, I guess. Just like naturally, it's going to. Oh, they're waiting. What? No. Ah! Well, it kind of worked. Well, it was a success. They'll be like, "What? That worked? Actually? Damn!" Oh no. Yo. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. What the hell? Yeah. Well, what I. Well, no, I feel like he's going too far into it now. Like, yeah, that was the reason, but also, his personality is also kind of like that, a Doc Island. Well, mm, okay. What, some kind of potion that's going to help? Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, you're like laughing and like, what the hell? Come on. Oh boy. Alright. Yeah. Wow. It's not going to work now. Okay, this girl is giving her all sorts of wrong ideas. Okay. Yeah, okay, what did he bring? Oh my god. Yo, these two are just. Okay. Oh my god. What the hell is that? Wait, I remember that! Rudy brought it. I remember in season 1. Oh no. Yeah. The method and place of its manufacture were lost. Okay, well. Yeah. Oh no. Be prepared to drink some yourself. Oh god. Hmm. What is that? Money? Yes. 2 gold coins. Wait. 2 gold. That's her monthly. That means 100 gold coins are a lot. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, it'll be funny if Rudy's not even here. Yeah. Is he even here? Oh, he's here. Okay. He was probably praying to his altar or something. I don't know. The holy relic. Oh boy. Ah, he was making the. Okay. Well, that is. She's not telling him. Oh no, wait. I think that's a normal. Like, did he put it? Did she put? Okay. Wait, did she put it in the? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Well, in the yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Oh my god. But she still didn't put it. Okay. Yeah. He remembers it because he himself bought it. He remembers. Okay. Are you supposed to put the whole thing? Okay. I don't think you should really do that. I think you're supposed to dilute it or something. No. I feel like it's supposed to be diluted or something. He just drinks it. Okay. Is it really working? Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Right. Oh no. What about Rudy? Is it working on Rudy? That's the main question. No, it isn't. Or maybe a little bit. He is kind of flushed. Okay, it is, I think, maybe. Oh, okay, it's working. All right. Okay, yeah, it worked. I think so. What? Yo! Oh my god. Oh. Wait, so there you go, it happened. Right, he's scared. Or kind of, I guess. Okay, okay, there you go. Yeah. Does he not remember? Okay, he probably remembers, it's just a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right, so yeah. And also the fact that, like she needs to still keep her identity a secret to all the others. But he's kind of like, his trauma is kicking back. The whole Eric situation, he got up and there was nobody beside him. There you go. There you go. But this time it's different. Hmm. Okay, I think now it is going to completely, like, this was one of his traumas. So now that the trauma is kind of, I guess you could say, now that Sylvie comes back after like a recreation of that whole situation, yeah, he'd probably get healed now. Because this was one of his biggest traumas. Yep, his trauma is has healed, at least a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Well, coming here did end up healing him, as Itogami said. So, oh, that's something else. Oh yeah, he needs to talk to them properly now. Now that all the secrets are out. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But as a friend, I guess, or maybe Illican. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. What? And he said he's gonna look for. No, isn't he going to stay here a little bit more to research about? Oh, damn. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, Arya was actually waiting for him to say something like that. That's why she was asking again, like, oh, what do you want to do? Okay, he's putting everything on Sylvie again. This is her decision. So, okay, there you go. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Reputation. Okay. Ah, she takes out her glasses. There you go. Wow. Okay, look forward to part 2, which is I think coming in 2024. So yeah. Right, that was a really good way they like concluded this whole section. And for the final episode of this part, that was well, well concluded and well thought out and well, you know, well like done. Like they really like made this whole season about Rudy coming here and little by little like going through her trauma, realizing who Sylvie is, and yeah, and concluding it in a good note. Like I was really expecting this to kind of get dragged to the second part. Like like I was thinking like, oh, they'll probably not be able to. He'll not be able to know who Sylvie is, at least in this part. Maybe the next part. By the next part, they'll probably reveal everything, and he'll get to know who Sylvie is. But it was concluded in this part, and not only that, he's like, I'm going to marry her. So next part will be interesting to see how this whole relationship dynamic goes to, and stuff like that. So okay, now this episode overall, let me talk about it as a whole. As a whole, this was again another episode that a lot of people were waiting for. In the beginning, when he was like, "Oh, like it's not working," his situation down there. I thought again at that point of time, I thought they will drag this to next season. Yeah, obviously he knows that Sylvie is like Fitz is Sylvie, and all that stuff. And I thought like, oh, at least this whole like cure part, like Rudy's situation, they'll take this to the next season or the next part, and next part little by little, gradually getting to like spend more time with Sylvie. He'll get cured. That's what I thought at least. But they were able to like they were able to kind of wrap that up as well in this season, or in this part, which again I wasn't really expecting, and I wouldn't really would have had any problem if they dragged this thing to the next part, because at least he got to know that this is Sylvie. It's fine if he needed a little bit more time, maybe like 6 or 7 more episodes to get to like spend time more with Sylvie, and then he got cured. It would have been fine either way, because all that I was waiting for, and I'm pretty sure everyone was for him to get to know Sylvie's whole identity, and understand that this is actually Sylvie from his childhood. That was all I was waiting for. His situation, yeah, it would have been fine if they took it to part 2. But they decided to resolve that here as well. Not only did they do that, like Rudy even proposed to Sylvie. So that was more that I was expecting for, you know. And yeah, so like there you go. That was good. That was really good. And yeah, so here that was an amazing episode. And one thing we got to see here as well, and we kind of realized what Rudy's, I guess you could say, main trauma was. That was just like, and why it was his, like, was his situation down there still not properly cured. We get to know that here at the end, because I was kind of like, like thinking, I was like, wait a minute, like after coming in contact with Selfie in the previous episode, he did end up like realizing that this is how it's going to work, like like his situation will be cured like this, because for a momentary amount of time it did react. But then this episode, when he actually gets to know Sylvie, like who Sylvie is, I was thinking like, oh, it's going to get cured immediately, but it still didn't get cured, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So there is still something in his like head which is still being a trauma kind of thing, and a psychological, like a stress, which is making his situation still not getting, it's not getting cured. What is that? And I was thinking like, oh, maybe it was because like it's been so long, it's going to take a little bit more while for him to maybe come in contact more with Sylvie, and then it's going to work, his whole situation will get cured. That's what I was thinking. But the ending scene really made it clear what the main source of his trauma was. The main source of his trauma was the fear that if I commit to someone, will they still be there the next day? That was his trauma, and that was what was the main reason why he was still afraid, and why that was the main source of his psychological stress. So that is why he wakes up, he sees Sylphie is not there, and obviously he knows that Sylphie must have gone to, like, he knows that unlike the whole situation with Eris, Sylphie's situation is different. She'll be here. She's probably out there to do some patrol. As she said, she's out for patrolling or something like that. And she knew. He knew. Even though he knew about it, it was still a source of trauma. So seeing Sylphie come back, made him properly, I guess you could say, made him properly realize, like, yeah, you know what? This time it is really fine. Like, up until that point of time, he knew from his heart that everything is fine. But unless and until he's, as they say, seeing is believing, he still didn't see Sylphie come back. So now that Sylphie suddenly comes back and he sees her with his eyes, he gets scared here. This is where he gets scared. And yeah, good God, like Eris's one poorly written letter became such a, but you know what, I guess you could, like, I guess it's easy to say that, oh, like, like Eris's letter was the main reason for all of this. But if you think about it, it was part of the reason. One of the biggest problems that, or a thing that Rudy's personality is something like this, like he has been bullied in his, real life. So he doesn't know how to trust in people. And that is why, it's easy to just say that, oh, Eris's letter was the reason for Rudy for being like this. If she wrote a little bit of a letter, if she wrote a letter in a better way, instead of just writing, I'm off, bye bye, instead of just writing that, if she wrote something like, you know what, I know my shortcomings, I need to be stronger, so I'm going off on a journey to get stronger, I'll be back, Rudy, see you then. If she wrote something like that, I feel like it would have been a lot better. But like, Eris is Eris. Obviously, she doesn't know how to be, like that. That's just her. So she just wrote that. Oh, bye bye. See you later. Something like that, and she just left, which made Rudy so confused, and he didn't understand. So that's what I'm saying. He was never able to properly trust people from in the real world. Coming here definitely changed that, and he was definitely able to work on that, and he was able to start trusting on people a lot more. But that scene, that situation, like, it triggered his trauma, definitely. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's easy to say that, oh, it was Eris's fault that Rudy, Eris's letter's fault that Rudy became like this. But if you think about it, that isn't the reason. That is part of the reason. The bigger reason behind Rudy, becoming like this, or his psychological trauma kind, it stems from way back. It comes from the real world, and that's what we need to remember, because it's easy to just say that, oh, Eris, if Eris wrote a better way, if Eris's letter made sense, at least she wrote at least like 5 lines instead of that 1 line that she wrote, maybe it would have worked out. Maybe none of this would have happened. Yeah, but just think about it. Maybe at that point of time, this wouldn't have happened. But maybe way later down the line, maybe something like this happened, or something kind of like this happened, and Rudy would have still been affected. So maybe at that point of time, that wouldn't have happened. But way down in the future, this situation would definitely happen. Or maybe in a different way it would have happened. Rudy had to face his fear and had to, I guess you could say, fight his fears. Had to do that. It just happened with Eris's letter, and that's it. And you know what? I'm kind of glad that it already happened. He already went past this now. Now that he's overcome this, he'll be way more confident. He'll be way more, I guess you could say, way much of a better person now that he has conquered this, because yeah, just think about it. This would have happened either way down in the future as well. If it did not get triggered by Eris's letter, if Eris wrote in a better way and told him that, oh, I'm just going for a momentary amount of time, I'll be back. Yeah, maybe at that point of time, this whole situation wouldn't have happened. But maybe way later down the line, maybe when he was like more of an adult, like this happened, then what? You know what is the, like, this is one thing that I believe, stuff like this that you need to conquer, that you need to, like, kind of overcome. Like, yeah, it is true that it's never too late, but the best situation is to get through these type of things and conquering your fears at a very young age, because that is going to give you so much more time to develop your personality and character even more. you know like, it is true that it is never too late, but it's good if you, like, conquer a situation at a younger age. So the fact that this happened now when Rudy is young, I feel like that is actually a good thing, because now from here onwards he can start anew. He has a long life ahead of him. If he had to conquer this fear at the age of 50, just think about it. Like, if none of this stuff happened now and Rudy just lived like he was, like, having those fears deep in his heart, and just think about it, like, at age of 50 suddenly these things get triggered, then what? That would be even a messier situation. So I'm kind of happy that he was able to go through this and conquer this at a young age of, I don't know, how old is he, 16, 17 now, maybe 18, at such a young age, because from here onwards he can start. He has a long life ahead of him, the life that he never got. In his real world he was too late. In his real world he was way far too gone. He was a middle-aged man when he realized, like, oh, I'm screwed. Like, I cannot go back from this. And sometimes it is too late to go back. So now that he got a new life, he has to go through these situations, these traumas, and to conquer them. And it's best that he's conquering them at a young age, because now he'll get a whole life ahead of him where he can, I guess you could say, polish his personality and polish his characters even more and become even better of a person. That's just what I think. And he'll be more happier. Like this, he'll be even more happier. So he'll be like, I can see this next part of season 2. I can see him getting way more confident, way more I guess you say, like that whole situation with Zoldat, where Zoldat was like, why are you acting like this? Why are you always kind of like recluse, keeping everything to yourself, and acting as if you, like, you cannot do anything, or you're helpless. Don't act as a victim. He said that, if you remember. That whole thing comes from his past, the real world experience, or from his trauma. So I feel like this episode where he makes the decision, where Ariel is like, what are you going to do now? The first thing he says is like, I'm going to help you guys out. And when Luke was like, oh, but you try to keep yourselves away from politics, and he's like, yeah, but now that Sylvie is involved in this, I will have to take a step. That's the first thing that I guess you could say is, which shows that he is so much more confident now. If this was the previous Rudy, he probably, like his stance, he would have been like, no, I want to stay neutral in this. But now he knows he has to take a step, because Sylvie is there and Sylvie is involved in this. And he knows that Sylvie will keep being involved in this because she is someone who cares for Ariel. And she'll try to help them as well. So Rudy knows that Sylvie is not going to get out of there. So all I need to do is, I need to get in there and help her out with that. And also Ariel kind of helped out Rudy as well in his situation, so that is also a debt for him. So that is why he decided he needs to take this step. And if this was a previous Rudy, even if he understood all of this, he probably wouldn't be able to take this step. But now he was like, all right, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to help you guys out. I'm not going to stay in the neutral position anymore. I'm going to take a side. And yeah, so that was number one. He took that decision. If this was a previous Rudy, he never would have been able to do that. This in itself shows how much, like, he was able to conquer his fears, and he was able to be more confident. He's becoming much more of a better person day by day. And then comes the second one, the second decision that he took, where Ariel was like asking him multiple times, like, what will you do? At first he was like, oh, I'm going to look for my family. And then when Ariel was like, yeah, but what will you do? She was like talking about this situation. And then Rudy realized it, and Rudy's like, all right, then I'll just marry Sylvie. If Sylvie like has to go with you guys, and I have to go on my whole situation, I'm just going to marry her. That's what I'll do. And yeah, like that was the second thing, that decision that he took, which he never would have been able to if it was the previous Rudy. And this again shows that he gained a lot of more confidence, and he can be a lot more confident in what he does and what he says, and he'll be a lot more decisive. His indecisive personality is little by little diminishing. Again, all for him conquering his fear and him becoming a better person. So yeah, that was that. Like I'm glad that this happened now instead of way in the future when it was too late. you know so yeah, so I kind of like have to say that, yeah, like up until now I was like, oh, why did Eris write a late letter like that? She could have written in a better way, at least. Like obviously Eris had no Eris had no clue that her one letter would make this much of a thing, will affect Rudy in such a way. Obviously she didn't know that. She was just her being herself. She just wrote, bye bye, see you later, and that is it. But like still, I was like, if she just wrote it in a little bit better way, none of this would have happened. But now, after coming through this, like this whole part, and after seeing Rudy's journey, and after seeing how he changes here, I have to say that letter, Eris's letter, was kind of a blessing in disguise, because that made Rudy think about his situation, confront his fears, fight his trauma, and get cured, conquered it. And now he's so much more of a better person, and he's so much more confident. And I'm glad that that letter happened, because since it happened this quick, Rudy was able to conquer it this quick. If something similar to the letter situation happened way in the future, 10 to 20 years later, it would have been a mess. Because up until that time, Rudy would still have lived in fear, unable to conquer his trauma. He was able to do it now. So that is why I'm saying Eris's letter is kind of a blessing in disguise, if you think of it. It was able to make Rudy conquer his fears early. That's the key word. It was able to make him conquer his fears early. And now he has the rest of his life waiting for him. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more things that he needs to conquer. There's a lot more trauma, deep-rooted trauma, that he probably needs to conquer. The Orsted situation, I feel like that's another trauma that he has to conquer. And I'm sure he will be able to. So these things, he can focus on those now. And hopefully, little by little, he'll be able to conquer all of these traumas and completely become a person that he was not able to in the real world. And that would really be a reincarnation, a successful reincarnation. You would be able to become a better person. You know what I love about this show? This show actually nails what a reincarnation story should be. It's about being a better person than you were. When you reach the end of your life, when you get isekai, obviously, you kind of look at your life, they kind of say your life flashes before your eyes. You kind of look at your life in a subjective manner, and you kind of think about what you have done through the rest of your life, what you could have done, how you could have changed it, and how you could have been a better person, and you could have changed the outcome to what your life is now in a better way. If you have those regrets, then being reincarnated in that situation and you starting over from a little boy would give you the opportunity to change all of that and live a life that you could have lived. I feel like that should be the main theme for all the reincarnation story. Most of the isekais, people who are not happy about their previous life, them being able to conquer their fears and changing their life for the better. And I feel like I don't think any reincarnation story or any isekai story has been able to nail that and properly, do that until I saw Mushoku Tensei. I'm just realizing, because yeah, that should be the main theme of the reincarnation story, not being crazy OP or like doing crazy stuff. Like you see the theme of these isekai shows nowadays. I'm a loser in my real world. I get hit by a truck. I die. I get an OP skill. I get a cheat skill. I'm crazy. Everybody loves me. Isn't that the theme of most of the isekais that we watch? Half of the trashy isekais that we watch. That's the theme. Yeah, I guess you're kind of like, like changing yourself. But the change doesn't come from within you. The change most of the time comes from a certain somewhat god who suddenly realizes that, oh, I screwed up your life in your real world, so let me give you everything from the beginning. So he gives you like these cheat OP skills or whatever the hell those are called, and you become crazy good without even investing anything in yourself. That is a shortcut, I feel like. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's wrong taking a shortcut, but I feel like seeing a story like this, where you're not given everything on a silver platter, where you have to actually work for your own, self, and make yourself better as a person in the real, in the real, in this world, in this new world, I think that is so much more impactful and better, and it has so much more value to it. Rudy wasn't really given everything on a silver platter. Like, because the first thing that it did seem like that in the beginning, where we were like, oh, he can do incantation like it's magic. He's so cool. He's someone special. But then suddenly all that comes crashing down when we realize, like, wait a minute, this is something that anyone can do. It's just that Rudy realized that he should invest more in his own mana pool from a very young age. So that's why he was able to do incantation as magic. Same for Sylphie. Sylphie was very young at that age too. So when Rudy started teaching Sylphie, Sylphie was also able to do the same thing as Rudy, just like Rudy was. So it's not that Rudy is any special or anything. It's not a cheat skill or an OP skill. It's something that anyone could do. Yeah, Rudy's a bit special, and that is it. That is all it. Rudy is very strong, but that doesn't mean that he can go through his trauma, his mental, things that he has gone through in his true world and easily be able to conquer that. Being strong physically doesn't mean a lot of the times that you can do the same for your mental well-being as well. Which is something I feel like most of the isekais forget, and they forget to remember and realize. They just like the other isekais, that most of the isekais that we have seen is just like, oh, I was trash in my real world, but now I have an OP skill, so I'm all good. What about the mental development? Where does that go to? You only are physically strong. So this is what I'm trying to say here. Like, this is where it differs, and this is why I love this show so much. It is actually like, whatever happens here, actually everything actually means something. Rudy's journey here isn't just him getting reincarnated and getting an OP skill and just being better than everybody. No. He, in this world, has to go through and conquer all the trauma of the real world and become a better person than he was. And he's not being presented that in a silver platter. He has to work for it himself and develop himself for it. It's very tough, but he's still doing it, and he's doing a good job. And I'm happy for him. So there you go. Like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've always thought that this show is all like has been special to me. From like, this season really changed my outlook of this show. Up until the previous part, I was like, yeah, it's a really good isekai show. But now I can say this should be the model, model blueprint, or this is what every isekai show should try to be. Development, not handing everything to your main character on a silver platter. That is just a power fantasy, or is that what it's called? I think that's just what it is. So yeah, this is something that every isekai show should try to follow, in my opinion, at least. Season 2 really changed my outlook on this whole show in itself, and I'm so glad that we have something like this now. A real gem of an isekai. Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Alright, I've talked about this for a long time, and that was my whole opinion on this season. as a whole. I'm going to quickly go through this episode and go into detailed discussion. I just gave a detailed discussion on this whole thing, but now I'm going to talk about this episode just like I usually do. All right. So at the beginning, we get to see Rudy and Sylvie, like just there in that cave, and Rudy little by little realizing that this is like that Sylvie, and he realizes like, yeah, it was so obvious, but obviously I wasn't able to realize, and he's like, okay, now I also need to voice my thoughts. Again, a good development here. He himself also confesses back to Sylvie when Sylvie says that I like you. He was also like, yeah, I like you too, and yeah, then he tries to kind of and then he realizes it still doesn't work, and he's like, oh no. Now this part really, like I said, it kind of like surprised me. I was like, wait, wasn't he supposed, like, shouldn't he be already healed? Because he himself kind of said like once he gets to realize what true love is, and that there is someone who will love him without trying, like, without wanting anything back in return, he'll then everything will be back to normal. He'll be cured. And then like this happens. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So the trauma runs more deeper, so we need to properly understand what's like, what is actually bothering Rudy. So he kind of apologizes to Sylvie, and here Sylvie is like, okay, here I think this was the trigger point again. You remember this scene where he tells Sarah as well, like, I'm so sorry, and Sarah was like, oh, I was wrong, or something like that she said, and she was like, like, I think she said something like disgusting or something like that, she said, and left. Obviously I'm pretty sure that was her talking to her about herself. That was a full-on miscommunication. I still believe that, because Sarah, like, looking at Sarah and seeing her for those few episodes, like, all I could say is Sarah is not a type of person who would say something like that to Rudy. It was probably a big miscommunication, and she was probably talking about herself, and she was probably disgusted at herself, trying to take advantage, or not advantage, but trying to like do this whole thing so quick, and realizing that she put Rudy in such a tough situation. And her, again, like, kind of like that whole miscommunication was so bad that like Rudy misunderstood that completely, and it kind of broke them apart over there. And that also became, I feel like, another source of his trauma, is that when something like this happens, like, the other person will be disgusted at him. That's what he thinks, at least. And that's why he's like, I'm sorry. So when Sylvie was like, oh, it's fine, like, it's no problem, like, I'm like, I'm sorry to, like, like, I'm like, it's not your fault, it's okay. So this, I feel like, kind of healed him a little bit, at least, because the way it went before with Sarah was so different, and that's why like he became so much more relieved here. Not only that, Sylvie talks about what happened after Rudy left, and she says, I was mad, I attacked Paul, but then I realized, like, I need to be better and I need to wait for you. So I started, like, like, studying more. I learned etiquette from Lilia, and I did a lot more, and yeah, I was just waiting. And then obviously the Mana disaster happens, and she gets flung to Ariel. We saw everything. And yeah, and now here they are, So she also says, I'm sorry, I couldn't really gather the courage. I should have, like, told you from the beginning. And it's understandable that Rudy wasn't able to recognize her, because it's been a long time. Sylvie's identity here is a boy, that's what she told everyone. Not only that, she wore that sunglasses, her hair is white. So all these are the reasons why obviously Rudy wasn't able to properly realize. That's why Sylvie's like, yeah, I'm sorry too, I should have said it to you quicker. Either way, they go back and they go on their own way. Sylvie goes to Ariel. I love how Ariel and Luke were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't work. And they were like, I'm so sorry, Sylvie, like, it's just, like, we should have done a better job. And Sylvie's like, no, everything worked, it's fine. And Sylvie kind of explains everything. And then Ariel is like, okay, this line really rubbed me the wrong way as well. At first she was kind of laughing. I thought she was laughing because, like, she thought that a weird plan like that actually worked. I thought that was why she was laughing. I was like, oh, she thought that it wouldn't work, but it worked, so that's why she's laughing. But then she's like, be that as it may, how can he be useless when it mattered? Okay, now, like I said, this line really rubbed me the wrong way. And it also rubbed Sylvie the long way as well. Luke as well, which I wasn't expecting, but I should have expected because Luke is also a guy, and he definitely realizes and probably kind of can like think about how it feels like. And then she says, "It seems I've rather overestimated his rudeness." Yeah. So, okay, that is how you judge a person. That is hilarious, actually. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, is this how people judges other people? You know what? I feel like this is such. This whole sentence, and Ariel says, these two lines that Ariel says, and her reaction to this sums up the whole society in such a good way. Like, I'm talking about our real society, where people love to judge others by their superficial qualities, or without looking at a person from the inside. Like stuff like this. Like, these two lines really nailed how society is nowadays, where she, at the first thing she says, like, oh, he's so incompetent that he couldn't do something like that, and then she's like, I have overestimated the Rudy's fellow. What are you on about? Do you know anything about Rudy that you are saying stuff like this? Do you know him as a person? Do you know about what he has went through? No, you're judging someone just by one sentence and hearing from other person's experience. That is society nowadays. People say something about someone shallowly, and everyone just jumps onto that and start judging them about it without even trying to understand the crux of the problem or why this is happening. Like, it's easy to point fingers and judge and laugh at other people without understanding, and that is what it is nowadays. Like, especially with social media, everything is so much more shallower. People just love to just take things out of context, and other people judge others about it. Such a, like, I was shocked at these two lines. I was like, what is wrong with you? You're saying that about someone who you have no idea about anything, and you're just judging someone based on one of the things and one of the problems that he cannot really do anything about, that he's suffering about. You're laughing at something like that. These two lines really rubbed me the wrong way. And you can see that Sylvie is kind of like, doesn't know how to react, and she's not really happy about this. And then Luke was like, what are you saying? Like, you're going too far. There are times when a man cannot help it. I'm sure that Rudius didn't fail to make love to Sylvie by choice. And, in fact, I understand why he's remained so docile for so long. Yeah. And there you go. Like, Luke actually, like, says this, and Luke is like, yeah, like, I understand now. And he says his diffident manner and expression makes so much sense to me now. And good thing that Ariel was able to understand what, like, Luke is trying to say. And Ariel was like, okay, I apologize. I shouldn't have really acted like that at that point of time. But I feel like Luke went a bit too far with this. Luke is like, the poor fellow must have came here like as a last straw, grasping at the straws. I guess that is true, kind of. But not that. Like, he says something about how his personality is like this because of this. Not completely true. Like, yeah, he is partially true, but not completely. Rudy's whole situation goes from way back in the real world. This is just a part of the reason. But obviously Luke and nobody here has the, like, knows about that, and, like, has no way of knowing that. That is why, like, at least Luke was able to understand what was bothering Rudy, and this is actually such a, I guess you could say, a big reason for his personality being like this. And then Ariel is like, okay, I beg your pardon. I spoke somewhat too strongly. And yeah, there you go. Everything is fine. She understood her, her fault here, and she was able to adapt to it. Okay. Right. So, okay. Luke is like, so is like what? Like, what do, like, he kind of asks Sylvie, like, what do you want to do? And Sylvie's like, I want to help him. It was such a shock for him. And Luke is like, all right, then I'll try to help you out. Like, just a minute, I'll be right back. And he leaves. And Ariel is like, I'm sorry, Sylvie, I talked about it like that. I do kind of know several cures for importance as well. Come to me, let me talk to you about that. And you can see outside Zalban, everyone are doing like these practice and stuff, while he goes and gets the aphrodisiac and brings it to them, while Ariel is giving her own thoughts about this situation to Sylvie and talking about how she could do something about it. Okay. This part is so crazy. Where Luke literally, like Luke is like, oh, I'm pretty sure Sylvie, like, okay, let me read this. In any case, Sylvie lacks the figure of feminine wiles, so I doubt Rudy will be affected in any way. I think that's what he says here. Oh my god, and he talks about like the Grey Rat family being attracted to big busted women. Oh my god. And not only that, he doesn't stop at that. He's like, oh, like that is why I was never attracted at Sylvie. It's impossible. And Sylvie's like, what the hell is this? Okay. Now, either way, you know what? It's funny to see. Like, if you think about it, what Luke says here is literally exactly the same what Ariel. I guess, but it is a bit different. I was going to say like Arya kind of like making fun about Rudy, about his situation. Just like that, what Luke says here also, if you think about it, if the gender role is reversed, he's literally saying the same thing to Sylvie. But the only difference I can see here is that Ariel kind of made fun of Rudy for that, which is wrong. However, Luke just stated his opinion. He didn't make fun of Sylvie for that, which is the difference here, I guess you could say. But low-key, exactly what what is like like what happened with Rudy and why Ariel was kind of making fun of Rudy. Loki, it's the same situation with Luke, which with the statement that he tells Sylvie is kind of exactly the same thing in a different way. If you just switch the genders, it's literally the same thing. But like I said, like Ariel's situation was different because she literally made fun of Rudy for that. Unlike Luke, who just stated that, oh yeah, this is what it is, and I'm sorry, I could never be attracted to you. That's just what he said. He just gave his opinion and his statement about it. Unlike Ariel, who made fun of Rudy for that. So yeah. Either way, he gives it the aphrodisiac to Sylvie, and he's like, oh, this might work. And he says like, oh, it's like 100 gold coins worth. It's a rare a commodity nowadays after the Mana disaster, because in the Fitwa region it was being sold and everything. And he's like, I kept it for a rainy day, but you can have it, And 100 gold coins. Now here's the thing. Ariel gives what's her name? Sylvie 2 gold coins, I think. And she's like, oh, this is the allowance for this month for me. My spending money for this month. 2 gold coins. Now she's royalty, so I would guess she would have a sizable amount of pocket money. That would mean I don't really remember. I think they kind of explained in season 1 the way money works here, like how much money is how much worth. Oh, I think no, yeah, they did explain. I remember Rudy getting like 10 silver coins or something for teaching Eris, was it? No. How much was it? I don't remember. And I think like Ghislaine got like 1 gold coin or something. I don't remember exactly. But that kind of made me understand how the valuation works here. And 1 gold coin is a lot actually. I think Rudy said something about 1 gold coin equal to being like 4 months of like living expenses or something like that, I think. So that would mean 2 gold coins is quite a lot. So Luke says that one aphrodisiac is 100 gold coins worth, which would mean it's a very sizable amount of money. It's a lot. It would actually probably make you like 100 gold coins would be able to make you live for like 20 to 30 years without working. That much amount of money that one aphrodisiac is worth for. And that's why he was keeping that just in case. That was quite a sizable amount of money. Anyways, so yeah, and now after that, I was like, best of luck to you. So Sylvie that night goes and knocks on Rudy's door. Rudy's like, oh, Sylph, yeah, Mr. Fitz, because obviously there might be someone outside. So yeah, they go in, and Rudy's like, "Come on, sit down." And Rudy was like doing his sculpture. We see that, and Sylphie comes down, sits down, and Sylphie's like, kind of talking to Rudy, bit awkward because it's been a while they have talked, as Sylvie and Rudy. They talked a lot as Fitz and Rudy, but Sylvie and Rudy, it's been a while they talked like that. So they're a bit awkward. But then Sylvie's like, all right, let's have a little bit celebration. So they brought, like, I'm guessing that is alcohol or maybe juice. I'm not really sure. Like some like snacks and everything. And and it is alcohol. Yeah, it was strong. So that is why Rudy's like, oh, give it to me. Takes it, puts water in it, and like kind of dilutes it a bit more and gives it to her. And so after that, Sylphie's like, all right, you know what? Okay, so she talks to Rudy about a few things. Talks about how this is how they met. Hot water. He helped take off the mud. Not only that, talks about the big tree and how they used to study there and everything, and then to, like play over there. It was fun. And then she's like, all right, here we go. Brings out the aphrodisiac, and she's like, oh, this medicine is that kind of medicine. And Rudy's like, I kind of have seen this. Where have I seen this? Here's another thing that we need to understand here. Like, I didn't really properly catch this, but if you think about it, the reason why Rudy wasn't able to remember where the aphrodisiac, where he had seen the aphrodisiac from, is because he's trying to block out his memories of Ares. He's literally trying to do that to help himself like recover from the trauma. That is why he wasn't able to remember where he saw that, because he saw that in Ares's hometown. Fitua, I think, yeah. Like the places kind of like confuse me. I sometimes forget the names. So like that is where he found that, and he bought it. Remember with the whole thing where he tried to present it to Ares without knowing what it was or something like that. No, Ares tried to like present it to him. Oh yeah, this makes it even a bigger, I guess you could say, deal then. Ares was trying to gift this to Rudy, if I remember, as far as I can remember. So the reason why he wasn't able to remember where this was from is because he's trying to block out his memories, anything related to Ares. He's trying not to think about it, to help him recover. That's why he was like, oh, where have I seen this? If that was not the case, he immediately would have been able to recognize this is where it was from. But since he's trying to block his memories, this happens, and he isn't able to remember where it is from until the next day when everything coming back to him about Ares. Anyways, so he's like, all right, so this is going to work. Let me drink it, and he drinks a lot of it, and he's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to dilute it or something, but I just drunk it, and you can see he's kind of being affected, a little bit blushing, and Sylphie's like, all right, you know what? Let me have that as well, and she drinks it as well, and she starts sweating, and like as we see. And I was thinking, like, okay, is Rudy, like, the main thing that matters here is Rudy being affected, because that is what we need here. And yeah, you can see Rudy actually was affected, and he kind of like hugs her, and Sylphie sees that, okay, yeah, it's kind of working, like because of the medicine. And then Sylphie's like, dig in. Oh my god. And yeah, so then after that, there you go, that happens. Next day, Rudy wakes up, and here we go. Here is where his trauma gets cured. He wakes up. He sees, the first thing he does is looks at his side. Sylphie is not there, and he looks at, and here, like I said, since this is a reproduction of what happened in the scene with Ares, he's remembering Ares now. He's like, oh, I remember this. This is the same thing that happened with Ares. He knows that Sylphie obviously didn't leave. She's here probably patrolling or something like that. He knows, but still, it's a trauma. It's kicking in now. And that is why he suddenly remembered about where the aphrodisiac is from. Because now he's remembering stuff about Ares. And it comes back to him. He's like, oh yeah, it was the peddler in Roa, sorry, not Fit. Yeah, Fitoa. It was the aphrodisiac peddler in Roa who, gave this to me. This is kind of related to Ares, and it reminds me of Ares. That is why, because it's coming back to him now, and he's thinking about it. Now he kind of looks at the bedsheet. It is stained in blood, obviously. And he, again, it kicks, because this is the same thing that happened to Ares. I remember this is the same scene, if you remember what happened. and it's kicking in. It's literally the reproduction of the same scene. And since it's kicking in, he's like, yeah, I know Sylphie's out there probably patrolling, but still, I'm afraid. But then he listens to the footsteps. Sylphie comes back, and Sylphie's like, oh, I just went and talked to Luke and Ariel-sama. And yeah, this is where he gets scared, because as they say, seeing is believing. In his heart, he knew Sylphie didn't leave or anything, but he needed to see it with his eyes, and that's what happened here. And now he was cured. He won't need any aphrodisiac from here onwards. He goes and hugs Sylphie, and he's like, I'm cured now. And Sylphie's like, okay, don't worry, I'm here. Yeah. And he says, like, thank you, Sylphie, for, for curing me. And then after that, the post-credit scene, Rudy goes in front of Ariel and Luke. He says, like, I'm Rudiel's Grey Rat. I'm here to, thank, you guys, kind of give my gratitude to you. Like, Sylphie was cured my illness. You guys also helped. So I'm so thankful for you. So now I will be helping you guys if you want to. If there's anything you need, just tell me. And then, Luke was like, but didn't you say you want to get out of these political nonsense? And he's like, yeah, but Sylphie's involved with this, so I'm also involved. My beloved is caught. If a situation like this, my beloved is also caught in this. So that changes the matters. And this is what I was saying. Like, this is the first thing that, one of the biggest changes that Rudy has had now. He's become more decisive. He knows now he has to pick a side. And yeah, whichever side Sylphie is in, he's going to be there. And that's what he decided here. So yeah, you can see his change in personality, his change in confidence. He's becoming, and at least little by little, he's becoming a better person, a more decisive person. He's conquering his traumas and everything. Okay, and then here Ariel is like, so what will we be doing now that this is Sylphie? And he's like, oh, I have a duty to find my family members lost in the mass teleportation. I'm going to do that, And so I cannot really go to Asura now. So she's like, yeah, I know, you take care of your own things before coming and trying to help us out. That is what I'm asking. What do you want to do? Here, while reacting to this part, I wasn't able to understand what Ariel was trying to say, but now that I'm going through this part again, I understand what she's trying to imply here. Because she says here, literally, that, okay, I'm going to read that line. Yes, my affairs can wait until you've resolved your own. And we need to remember now that his own affairs involve Sylphie's situation as well. Now that they're together. So that was what Ariel was trying to imply. Ariel was like, yeah, my situations can be done later. What about your situations? Your and Sylphie's situation. What about that? She didn't say that verbally, but that's what she implied. Your situation means your and Sylphie's. What do you want to do about Sylphie? That's what she was trying to imply. And here Rudy realizes what she's trying to say, and at first he's like, pardon? And then she's like, yo, now that importance is cured, what do you want to do? You won't just leave, will you? Trying to find your family. What do you want to do? Rudy realizes on what she's trying to imply, and he's like, okay, there's only one choice then. I need to marry Sylphie. That's what I'm going to do. I was not expecting this though. I wasn't expecting to literally say marry. But yeah, good. That's the best thing. Sylphie, Luke almost falls down. Sylphie is surprised, and Ariel seems she kind of expected this, and she's like, alright then, Sylphie at Grey Rat. Yeah, and she's like, what do you want to do, Sylphie? And Sylphie's like, yeah, I'm gonna be with you then. I accept. And then she's like, if you're going to become Rudius's wife, then take off your glasses, start be a girl, be what you want to be, and you don't need to put on and try to act as a boy anymore. Just be what you want to be yourself. And she also says that embrace your femininity. In exchange, Rudius, I will make use of your reputation, you may use my name as well. So she's like, yeah, like if I need help from you, and if I like, obviously, because this whole school, if you remember, Rudy is literally kind of like the, I guess you could say, kind of like the shadow leader of this school now, because everyone respects him because of everything that happened with Badi Gadi, you know, like him defeating every single person who tried to come and duel him, you know, all those stuff made him like the shadow boss of the school or whatever. That is what Ariel needs. Ariel has her you know, like pleasant personality and her I guess you could say her leadership qualities, her way to naturally charm everyone. She has that, but she doesn't really have anything based on power. Rudy has that. Rudy has a hold on the people and the students of the school based on power. So now that is why she's like, yeah, I have my leadership qualities, but if I need to do something with power, I'll be using your name. In return, you can use my name. You can use my influence on this school as well. You have a lot of influence on this school as well. But if you need my influence, you can use that as well. So that is actually like what it is. Like, you know, like she had more of the, I guess you could say, leadership, or like more of the, I guess you could say, non-physical or non-violent way of, you know, like kind of influencing people. I wouldn't call it violent, but non-physical way of influencing people. While Rudy's influence on this school is more in a physical way, because he showed his strength, he showed how powerful he is. Each had what the other lacked. So Ariel is like, I'm going to use your, you know, like influence, your way of influence, your physical influence, while you can use mine, you know, if there's anything you need. So you can use my name. So yeah. And then she's like Sylphiet, I wish you the best of luck. You know, I hope you, you know, like you're happy. And takes off her glasses. And then in the end, both of them are like, Luke and Ariel, thank you for everything up until now. Beautifully ended. This ending, that was an absolute gem of an ending. And I love how they wrapped everything up. Looking forward to the next part, which I think is going to be happening on April. Let me check. Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 2. I'm pretty sure I saw it was April 2024 or something like that. Let me quickly check and see. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, yeah, Part 2. Yeah, April 2024. So 3 and 3, so 6 months later. Yeah, so that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. This was my reaction to Mushoku Tensei Season 2 episode number 12. Beautiful. I love this show. So thank you for watching. This was my reaction. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next, you know, like next video. More animes are going to come. I made a video on that, which animes I'll be reacting to. So if any one of them catches your fancy and you want to follow my reactions, yes, I'll see you guys then. So yeah, see you guys in the next batch of anime reactions. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.